Hello everyone, welcome to Select Star. Today I have come up with an interesting SQL question wherein we are required to find n consecutive records. So let's understand the question. We have been provided a table which has seat ID and whether it is empty or not. And we are required to find group of 5 consecutive seats which are empty. If you look closely at the given table, ID1 is not empty. Then we have 2, 3, 4 which are empty, but since there are only 3 consecutive numbers, we don't want them. We want seat IDs from 7 to 11 which are consecutive and 5 in numbers. Now before going to the solution part, I would suggest you folks to try the question yourself and then come back to check my solution. Before writing the query, let's try coming up with some plan to solve this. One way to do it would be to use lag or lead functions, but that will not be an ideal solution because if the number of consecutive days increases, say 20, writing 20 window functions will be a bad idea. Other way would be to get rid of non-empty seats and then group the seats that are consecutive and then count them. Let me show you how. We have got rid of non-empty seats. Now the plan is to create groups. In this case, two groups, one for seat ID 234, another for seats from 7 to 11. Here is a trick to remember. We need to use the window function row number. We have got the row number for the filter table which is ordered by ID. Note that it is very important to order it or else we may not get the required result. Now to create groups of consecutive numbers, we just need to subtract rnum from ID. If you look at the resulting table, you can see that if we subtract 1 from 2 or 2 from 3 or 3 from 4, we will get 1, which will be our group 1. Then for second group, if we subtract 4 from 7, 5 from 8, 6 from 9, 7 from 10 and then 8 from 11, we will get 3, which will be our another group. You can see that we have got two groups, 2, 3, 4 with GR1 and 7 to 11 with GR3. Now we just need to count the number of GRs to see how many consecutive values are there. But first let's get rid of the unwanted columns that we have and then create a CTE out of this. Now usually we use a group by for counting values, but over here we will use a count window function. The thing with group by is that if we create a group by GR, then we will not have access to the ID column. So we will use a count of GR, or you can use ID as well over here, and then partition by GR. You can see that we have got the count. So for GR1 we have got the count as 3 and for GR3 we have got the count as 5. Just for the sake of showing, if you wanted to count ID instead of GR, you would get a similar result. We also don't need the GR column over here, so we'll just remove it. Now we can create another city out of this and then just put a filter where Cn is greater than equal to 5. We just need the ID column, so we write it and then run the query. We have got the required result and I hope that the solution is clear to you folks. Let's try solving another question that involves dates with a similar approach. In this question, we have been provided a table with employee ID and their attendance records for first week of January, and we are required to find if they were present consecutively for 2 or more days in that week. And if the answer is yes, we are required to show the period of the attendance as well. Now, if you look closely at the given table, you can see that employee with ID 1 has not logged in consecutively for 2 days. Hence, his name does not appear in the resulting table. Then, for employee ID 2, he has logged in consecutively for 2nd and 3rd January, and then for 5th, 6th, and 7th of January. So, he has consecutively logged in for 2 or more days 2 times. So, his name will be there in the result, and his from date and to date will also be there. So you can see the first from date is from 2nd to 3rd Jan, and then for the second time it's from 5th to 7th Jan. Coming to employee number 3, he has logged in consecutively for 2 days for only on 5th and 6th January. So he will also be present in the resulting table with from date and to date as shown in the resulting table. I hope the question is clear to you folks, and before proceeding I would suggest you folks to try it yourself and then come back to check my solution. We will be using the same technique that we used in the earlier question. Now that we have filtered the table for present is equal to y, we need to create the row numbers. This time we do not have a primary key, but we can assume that the combination of employee ID and log date will act as a primary key. So we will order by employee ID and log date. You can also do a partition by employee ID and then order by log date. The resulting table will be a little different, but we will certainly be able to create the groups that we need. So we have successfully created the row numbers. Now just like last time we will start subtracting, but since our num is a big int, so we will not be able to subtract it from the log date directly. What we will do is that we will convert this r num into days, and then we will subtract that number of days from the log date. Since row number will give me a big int, I have multiplied with interval 1 day to convert it into number of days. In different RDBMS, the method will be different. Now we have got the GR column, and you can see that it is in a date format. If we look carefully for employee ID 2, for dates 2nd and 3rd Jan, the group created is 29 December, and for dates 5, 6 and 7 January, the group is 30th December. And for employee ID 3, for 5th and 6th Jan, the group created is 26th December. Now just like last time, we will remove the unwanted columns, create a CT out of this, and then use a count and over. And then finally put a filter for greater than equal to 2 for consecutive days, and then do our remaining calculations for the from date and to dates. We have selected the required columns. Let's create a CT. We have got the count as well, and as expected for employee ID 2 we have got the count as 2 and 3, and for employee ID 3 we have got 2. Let's create a second city out of this. Now we can just put a filter of greater than equal to 2 for Cn. Then we will group by GR to find the from date and to date. This condition will filter out employees who have not logged in consecutively for 2 or more days. Now to find the from date and to date, we will do a group by employee ID and GR, and you can see that the minimum date for this group will be the from date and maximum date will be the to date. We have got the required result and the from date and to dates, but there is one issue, and that is we don't need this GR column. Most of us would be tempted to write another city and then select only the required columns, but we don't have to do that. In this type of cases, what we don't know is that it is not important to mention all the columns that are there in group by in the select statement. That is, if we just remove the GR from the select statement, it will work perfectly fine. If you want to know why this works, you can go to my aggregation and grouping video tutorial wherein I have explained this. This will be all for today's video, and if you have any questions, you can post them in the comment section. I will be happy to help. And if you have not subscribed, do subscribe for more such content. Signing off now.